Top 10 shortstops for the 2025 season. Coming at the number 10 spot, we have Bo Bichette. Now, Bo Bichette had a really disastrous 2024 season. Obviously, he was injured for a good portion of it, and when he was on the field, he really wasn't himself. But we've seen he is an incredibly good hitting shortstop, and he's just 25 years old. So we're looking at a guy who's still a very young player and a very talented player who's proven he's consistent when he's on the field and healthy. And so I'm willing to take this bet and say that he's going to have a bounce back, and he should be the number 10 shortstop on this list. But then at the number 9 spot, we have Trea Turner. Now, Trea Turner, we know he's not going to play good defense. We've come to expect that from him at this point. But we know he's going to hit, and he's a great hitting shortstop, and he also has a lot of speed. I also believe he has the ability to do more at the plate than what we saw from him in 2024. But then at the number 8 spot, we have Willy Adames, the new shortstop of the San Francisco Giants. He's a shortstop with great power and great defense. The defense took a bit of a step back in 2024. Probably going to take a step back up in 2025. But I think for the Giants, Adames and Chapman on the left side of that infield will make up one of the better left side of the infields in all of baseball, and then also one of the more underrated left sides of the infield in all of baseball. Then at the number 7 spot, though, we have Carlos Correa. And Carlos Correa is one of those guys, it's really tough to rate him, try to figure out where to put him, because obviously he just doesn't stay on the field. But when he's on the field, he is incredibly good. Obviously, at the plate, he's incredible. He's really disciplined. He walks a lot. He doesn't strike out too much. He had a 152 OPS plus last year, which is absolutely insane. And he's also really good at defense. I think we've entered into a range of shortstops here where they just have one weakness. Correa's one weakness is not staying on the field, not actually playing enough. And then at the number 6 spot, we have Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts obviously moves us into the range of absolutely elite players. He strikes out just 11% of the time. We know he's going to score runs. We know he's going to knock in a lot of runs. And you're going to get around a 145 OPS plus every single season, which is really consistent and an amazing bat. His weakness, though, is his defense, which we just haven't seen him get comfortable at shortstop yet. Not even sure he's really going to stick the whole year at shortstop. He really doesn't have the same level of speed as we saw from him earlier in his career. And he's really below the elite level when it comes to the advanced metrics like barrel percent and exit velocity, which he does have his way of getting around with the way he hits. But those still are counted as his weaknesses technically. But then at the number 5 spot, we have Corey Seager, who's probably the best power hitting shortstop in the game right now. Just like Betts, Seager puts you in a position where you expect around a 145 OPS plus every season. He overtakes Betts though because he plays outstanding defense. He barrels the ball up. He has a better expected WOBA. He has better average exit velocities. Now his one weakness is it's a lack of speed. But then at the number 4 spot, we have a guy who doesn't lack speed, and that's Elly De La Cruz. And while he doesn't have the polish of an elite hitter like Seager or Mookie Betts, he does have other things that he does really well. Because while his OPS may not be as high, and he's going to strike out a lot more, what he is going to do is he's going to get on base. And every time he gets on base, he's going to score because he steals his way around the bases. Doesn't have to hit the ball as well because he hits the ball so hard it finds more holes anyway. And so he has that crazy power, he has that crazy speed, he has enough contact, he barrels the ball up still pretty well, and he's the best defender we've seen on this list so far. Really, he's one of the best defensive shortstops in the game. But then, at the number 3 spot, we have Francisco Lindor. And now we finally move into the shortstop range where there is no weakness. Nothing Lindor does wrong. He has run production, he hits home runs, he steals bases, he has a really nice OPS, he has amazing defense, he's got good speed, expected WOBA, his average exit velocity, his barrel percentage, his walk rate. I mean, all of those things he does really well. And so there's nothing that you can point out that he does wrong, I think. But then still, number 2, the 2025 season in our rankings is going to be Gunnar Henderson. Now, obviously, he's much younger. He's just 23 years old right now. He started the 2024 season on an MVP pace. And while he did kind of tucker out, we hope to see him reset and actually finish 2025 the same way he started 2024. Kind of prove that he can play at that same rate for an entire season. Also, you got to think he hasn't spent that much time at shortstop, really just moving there during spring training last year. And so his defense was good, but his defense wasn't great. But now that he has more time to sit at shortstop, maybe it'll get a little bit better. But I mean, he still was a good defender, even with almost no preparation time. Imagine how good of a defender he's going to be with a full offseason to prepare. But then the number 1 spot does have to go to Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby Witt Jr. did not have the inconsistency in the 2024 season that Gunnar Henderson had. Basically, he took the way Gunnar Henderson played at the start of the season and just did that the entire year. Still just as young. He's also an elite defender. He does have a little more speed, whereas Gunnar has a little bit more power. They're both fast and they're both powerful, though. But really, these two are the face of shortstop for the next, I don't know, probably like 10 years or so. But as for the 2025 season, we're giving Bobby Witt Jr. the number 1 spot.